Hey, welcome back. We're back in Timberborn. With a bad tide approaching, I've got a couple of ideas I want to get done. The main thing I want to get done today is I want to take this area right here and turn it into a big reservoir so we can keep more water down here. But there's a couple of small things that I want to get taken care of first, such as all of these tanks I think are messing up my above 90%, and we don't need quite as many. So let's just go ahead and we're going to get rid of all of them. We'll tell them to collect up the resources. There we go. And that should help us with the beavers getting the right number of beavers pumping water at one time. The other thing I wanted to start with here is down here, I don't need trees because I've got trees up here currently that I got to get out of the way. I've got trees here that I have to get out of the way. There's trees everywhere that I just kind of need to get out of the way. So we're going to change this from trees to food. Let's go ahead and we'll get started there with that. Let's mark all of this for demolition. There we go. We're going to get rid of this guy. We're going to get rid of this guy. And I think what we'll do is we'll move our farmhouse down here. So it should be able to plant all of it. We're going to need probably a set of stairs, though. Let's get you in there so you can still plant that end. I'd also like a little extra storage for food. We're going to go up to 20 hours just to get stuff done if we can. Do I have two places for... Yeah, I have two places for berries. Let's fix that first. And then I would like even an extra place just over there for more kohlrabies so that we can get as many as possible. Let's get all of those in. Speaking of which, let's get a second farm down here. Then we can get in more of our cassavas, which we need anyway. Put all those in there. We can have some up here now. And eventually, I'd like to take some of this and put it down here. We may look into that as well. In fact, kind of looks like this guy's not doing much at the moment. So, since we're full on gears, let's just take that out. And I actually don't need this block right here. River stays out of it just fine without it. So what I'm going to do is we're going to connect power in below here. Let's say that's barely important so we can get that gear factory back in. There's the gears. We'll put the gears back in there, and then we just need a power shaft underneath here. And we can even start to fill in some of this here. And oops, I won't want to fill in that one there. I'll want to put another one of these here. So we'll just take everything down below, and we can even reroute the path if we want to. Oh, there's our bad tide. We're going to come up here. We're going to use our bad tide switch, which should flip all of these over. There we go. There's the bad tide there. These are all switched to go that way, so we should be good. Let's go ahead and look into getting a couple more of our automated ones. I want to automate a couple of the other things. For example, this guy's just kind of sitting here. Let's pause him for now, and maybe we'll get that automated if we can. We'll go ahead and get a couple more in. There we go. Let's have them put that back up. This is all good to go. We have 5 beavers that are sleeping outside, though, so we'll get them some housing. Maybe that'll help out just a bit. In fact, I would like to do something like that. We'll get started here on our reservoir. Now, normally, we wouldn't have the metal blocks that we need to get it's the fill valves here that we're going to need. We need 5 metal blocks, and as you see, we don't even have a smelter. However, over here, there's a whole reserve pile of just metal blocks. So we'll connect those in as kind of the first step. In fact, we'll come across, let's say, about, where's a good place to do this that would take the least blocks possible? Let's go there. We'll connect in the road back here. There we go. Then we're going to need some steps. And we're going to need a way to cut all of these trees down. So we'll just put you there. All of those should be marked already. Yes, but it's not quite what we want. We don't want those. We just want the ones that are in the way, more or less. So we'll do some precision cutting there when they've got most of that up. Look, we've actually got enough water for them to pause all that as well. So that gives us a couple extra beavers here and there, which is really what we want. This guy, you know what? We're going to prioritize by haulers to make sure he's always got the number of planks he needs. What do we need for these? Gears? Yeah, we're going to need a couple of those. I'm pretty sure... Where did we use all our gears? We had 10. Well, we have a working gear factory, so we'll just open that back up. No big deal. Up here, let's go back to our reservoir here. And what we're going to do, we're going to put in a couple levees at the bottom here. And then we'll get our fill valve if we can afford it. We'll do 2 here. Yeah, we got the science for that. And then we'll start on the levees. Oops, didn't need quite that many. That's okay. We'll get these in here. Now, I'm not going to put in this top one because I want to put a bridge over the top and use kind of the old technique of making sure that everybody can get to all of these blocks at once, and it speeds up the building quite considerably. So we're going to need to get up here first of all. Let's go ahead and we'll say, how about you and you? How's our logs doing? Actually, not too bad. And then we want to cut trees to the exact places that we need them. So we're going to come through there. Let's go ahead. We'll build stairs down here because we're going to need get in. Let's see. That goes right there, I believe. Is that where I told them to cut? Yes. There we go. And then we're also going to have to get over here. So let's get stairs here. And we'll put in a path to cut. All right here. Here and here. There we go. We may even need another place to go there. Can I build any paths here? Looks like I can build a little bit of a path there. So we should be okay. Berry guy doesn't need to be sitting there. We'll let him go somewhere else. Same with this guy. Speaking of which, I'm going to need beavers. I know I turned those off, but I'm hoping that we can kind of keep things going. So we'll get the beavers going there. Look, we got a place to get some water again. And we'll have to change those all over once those are ready to go. Have we got that out of there yet? Nope, they're still working on it. So we'll let that go. Is there somebody in here? Yeah. Oh, let's also turn down the working hours so they're not using too many resources instead of relaxing. Because that feels like kind of what they need to be doing during this long bad tide, is doing more relaxing than anything else. We've got that. Do we need science? Yeah, we kind of need science, so we'll keep that open. We've only got one hauler at the moment. You're not going to need to be on. You're not going to need to be on. In fact, we might toss an extra one of you down there just whenever they can get to it. Do we need scrap metal at the moment? I don't think so. Well, we don't have any, but it's not top of the priority kind of list thing. Got kohlrabies. Still a couple of kohlrabies coming in here and there. We don't really need to plant trees, although I was thinking, what if we take, and actually, you know what, instead of there, if we were to put it closer, let's just say this can go there, and we grab this, and nope, not there, there. We do a 2-height one, then we can actually plant more mangroves down here, even more food. Hopefully. That's the general idea, at least. We're getting a decent amount of food. In fact, if we can get one of these built, what does it need? A gear? Ah, good. We've got our second gear factory in. That's what we need. And this is where most of the stuff will be going, I do believe. Let's go ahead. We'll get in another plank factory because we're going to need it. We'll make sure that this one gets its stuff first so that they can start making some more stuff here. And I'd like to get these started as well. And we'll label all of this as a little bit higher priority so that we can get down there and get things taken care of. Have they came over here yet? No, not yet. That's okay, though. We'll go ahead and connect that back in. Whatever they happen to be able to get a hold of should be fine. We're already out of water down here, which is going to make this a bit rough, but we've got a couple of pumps, and hopefully they start turning off by this a lot more often. I know we have a bunch of water storage spread out everywhere, but, you know, it should be fine. Let's say I would like to get these out of here. Since all of that up there is dead, we're going to pause you guys. You guys can stay there for the kohlrabies, but we'll get all of this taken care of quickly so we can move that around. We really need to get that moved. Okay, they're working on planks. We've got logs, so we should be good there. Is there anything left in your range that's not dead? A couple of kohlrabies. Okay, we'll leave that. What about your range? Yes, but it's covered completely by this guy down here, so we'll just leave those there for now. Have them replant those and keep the kohlrabies going. At least that's the general plan. We've got plenty of people in the hauling post, so if we need to, we'll just come down there and get some people out of the hauling post. Let that go. We've got science still going. This guy... You know what? That guy's not doing anything because that can be picking those. So we can at least save ourselves a couple of beavers here and there. They have not yet got themselves a house, but that's okay. Let's prioritize all of these so we get all of that taken care of and we don't have to worry so much about it. How is oh, you know what? We can come up here and get more trees as well. So we have even less trees to worry about. That. Couple of nice sets of stairs going up there. A little bit of extra science. And in fact, what we'll do here is let's put a lumber place right there. There we go. We might even make a pathway over this mountain just so they can get over there a bit easier. But that might come in a minute. We'll see what we got to do. Are these pretty much dry and dead? Can I? Nope, I can't go over them quite yet. Are those set to cut? Yes, they are still set to cut, so they should be fine there. Our water pumps have turned off. That's fine. This guy, not really doing anything at the moment. We'll put him to work. Keeping an eye on stuff. There's a couple of berries down here. Let's grab those berries while we can. How are they doing up here? They've got this. Look, they've got some road ready to go in. That connects in. Those aren't going to be grown for a while, so let's go ahead and take those out. There we go. Speaking of which, these all look like they're in good shape. Let's move you down to here, and we will plant kohlrabies just so they don't starve. There we go. Once they've got those out of there, come on, guys, you can do it. We can actually take out most of this road. There we go. Get kohlrabies here. You're good. You aren't needed anymore. In fact, a lot of this isn't needed. Let's take all of this out of there. Just prune that road back just a little bit. There we go. And that should give them a bit more kohlrabi. Let's make sure there's people in here and that they get that built. I got plenty of logs at the moment. So we'll let that go. These should be fine. They should be getting most of their logs from up here. Let's prioritize those. There we go. You guys get all of those out of there. That's connected in. Awesome. Let's get over to here. And we'll get another one here. Just to make sure that we can get through to over this side. We need those and that. Actually, let's just draw on the path so that we can actually get there. There we go. And since we're going to be building a bunch up here, let's just toss in. There we go. Take that out. We'll make sure logs get up here. We'll make sure planks get up here because we're going to need those too. And there we go. How much is a bridge? Let's see, that's 400. We don't even have enough for... I would like to get this bridge. That would be the ideal one to get. But we're going to have to find a way to get maybe some extra science. Which means maybe we should start looking over here so that we can get up to these science things. Yeah, that seems like a great plan. Let's do that and this and this. They can work on those next. Oh, you know what? There's even better plan. If we just come up here, we can get that science. And 200 science should be plenty. Anybody? Okay, we're going to pause that. We're going to pause those. You seem to be okay. We're still processing plants, but we don't have a ton to process, so... we'll just have to leave them. Oh, would you look at this? They've got our automation in. For the counters, I'm going to add the 90 after them. That way I just know what they're supposed to be counting. Let's go ahead and we're going to do berries on this one. We're going to rename it to berry 90. Berries 90. That should be close enough. And we're going to set it for... this one. We're going to automate berries over 90, turn that back on, although there's no berries to actually get, so let's just pause it for the moment. But we're going to set this one as well. Automate berries 90. There we go. This one can be for logs, and that should be just about everything that's absolutely essential. We'll call it berries. No, not berries. Why would I call logs berries? There we go. Logs. This one can be for kohlrabies. No, let's make it for planks. Because it was kind of the first thing that we needed was planks. Let's do planks. And you can be counter plank. There we go. And then the final one, anything else? We could do kohlrabies. We could also do gears. Let's do gears for now. Gear, there we go. Counter. Gear 90. There we go. Let's set everything up here. We're going to set you for planks. So plank 90. We're going to set you up for gear 90. That pauses you. You're also planks. Planks. This thing, I don't think we're going to use this thing anymore. So let's take those out of there. In fact, we can probably take this path out of there too and get a couple more trees in once everything comes back. Everything looks to be dead here. Let's go ahead. We will put in stairs here. Go straight up from there. Up and over. And we'll try and grab some more trees up here when we can. But I still would prefer to get them from the other place first. Did they make it up here? Yes, they did. And we've got our science. So let's go ahead. We're going to unlock the floor bridge here. We're going to use that. Did they get down here? Sort of. Kind of. Not really. Let's go ahead and that one. Nope. This one. High priority. And we'll go ahead and start cutting other trees up here. There we go. Just so we can pull the lumber down. There we go. All that can go. All that can go. let's just demolish these trees so we can get to where we need to go and be done with it. We'll probably regret demolishing the extra lumber later, but that's okay. We've got stuff to do and we need to get it taken care of. Such as getting this in there. Are all those set to cut down? Nope, we need all of these cut down as well. And here, what I'm going to do is, first of all, it's not a bad tide anymore, so we can probably turn that off. Let's get our water back so we don't lose too much water. And we'll have to turn the farms back on, so we'll probably lose some production here, but that's okay. We'll live with what we got. That's all looking good. If we could turn this one back on, we can turn this back on. And we could even turn that back on if there were any more that we needed to plant. There we go. Hopefully this fills up down here. These guys get to replanting and we should be okay there. We're starting to run a little low on logs, but it's not that big a deal. We've got plenty to get here and these should grow in here pretty soon. So we'll leave that be. What else did we get? We got gears and planks. Let's do automate you to planks and start you up. There we go. That's looking pretty nice. We kept a decent amount of food and water. You can automate to gears in case we need gears, but it looks like we don't. These guys got across here pretty quickly, so I can connect all that back in. We don't need this. We don't need that. That we still do, but we're going to automate it for logs. In fact, I'm going to copy that and just make sure all of our logs are set so that if they're above 90% on logs, then we pause all of them. There we go. Is this guy set for berries? He is, but we don't have a ton of berries at the moment. I'm going to make you focus on mangroves, just in case any of those decide that they want to spring up for us. How is this doing? We have not even started that yet. Do we need... We kind of... Well, they can build that from the top. Let's go back to building this here. Let's go, and we're going to need a path through here. And there's a drought, which it's not terrible. It's definitely not as good as temperate, but I will take that at the present moment over a bad tide. Let's get in floodgates. And we're going to do a levee here. And then I want to just split this right down the middle. And we'll even... If I do a bridge off of here? I could, but then I couldn't go that way. So we'll just do this. That ended up being an interesting shape, but we'll just let that go for now. There we go. And we'll hook these up to the bad tide switch when we need to. Get rid of that. Hopefully all of our water fills back up. It looks like a lot of them are on at the moment. So water is below 90. We'll get that. We could probably use a couple more of these to get a couple more things automated and moved around. It's going to take a lot of our gears, but that's okay. I'll take out 2 of these too. And since there's so many beavers that pass by here, just put a shrubbery in for now. They'll at least get a little bit of a buff. Better than nothing, I suppose. There we go. And since the drought is coming, I feel like what we could do is let's move the large wheel over here. And that way we can keep those powered if we should need it. There we go. And once that's built, we'll get rid of this whole center over here. In fact, we'll do this. Let's take this down here. I could put it in here, but I'd lose a decent amount of room. So we're just going to put it there for now and figure out how it works after that. Sometimes that's the best way to do it. Go ahead. We'll mark our trees. That looks good. And there we go. Now we just kind of have to wait for them to start building. So we'll give them a minute and we'll come back here once the drought is mostly over. And here we go. The sun is setting on our second day after the drought ended, and they've got a good portion of everything up. Over here, they're still working on stuff. We could probably take these out, though. There's a good chance they won't need those. So we'll let them take care of all of that. There's a little water that's going to flow over, but the more blocks we get in before the next drought, the more water we'll have. But hopefully, this allows us to keep enough water in there to keep going. We haven't got our other automation counters in yet. I think they put a lot of their focus into this. In fact, what we'll do is let's take this out. We'll go ahead and say we want a couple more here, but we also want to make sure that we get a couple of dams here on the top so that it overflows correctly when it's going to. Now, over here, it's also flowing out the back, so we're going to have to send somebody up there to take care of those. Yep, we'll just go right there whenever they happen to get over here. I'm still thinking that what's in there should be enough for your average drought. Well, I guess maybe your average hard mode drought. There we go. We'll toss in levees. Oops. Levee. And we don't want that one. They can just get to those whenever they can. We should be good to go otherwise. In fact, we could even come up here. Let's take this path off of here. We'll say stairs are there. And that should help us out. We can go ahead and set these as well. If we automate these for bad tide. So when it's off, it'll be at 1. When it's on, it'll be at 0. And these will automate. And, oh, they're not set up. Let's do when it's off, it's a 0. When it's on, it's at 100. So it just switches, and hopefully it doesn't overflow here at the top. We'll keep an eye on it. We've got a couple of beavers just kind of sitting around at the moment, so let's get rid of that one. Any reason to have... Nope. We'll get rid of that one. We can pause that. These aren't really needed, so let's go ahead and say... empty these out. For the most part, they should be okay. Those can stay until they've got all that taken care of. This can stay. They've got plenty of logs, so hopefully those will turn off here in a second. We're gaining water back. We've got some kohlrabis. We've got some cassavas, but I would like to make sure that over here, the fermenter, yeah, we could do a second one. Well, they're working on it. Let's see if we can get those trees out of there. So maybe, just maybe, we can put another one in here and get enough cassavas made. There we go. Oh, look at that. They've got all our resource ones in. So let's copy these. There we go. We'll start with, we've got berries. Let's go with counting these. We'll do, we've got gears. What else could we do? Metal parts, because we've got those coming in. Metal parts. Yep. And metal parts greater than 90. There we go. We'll set this one up. Auto metal parts. And then we can unpause it naturally. And they can come fill those in. Let's do, how about scrap? And then we can put all the scrap gatherers on automation as well. There's that. Let's get scrap, metal. What other things could we automate? We could do, we've got gears automated. We've got berries. We could do mangroves. Let's do those. There we go. And mangrove. Let's capitalize it though, just to keep everything the same. There we go. Really, the only one that needs that is probably this for the moment. And in fact, at some point, we'll set up a relay to make sure that if either one needs to be on, then they'll be able to come and get it. Speaking of which, let's copy you over to here, because we'll need one for there eventually. Are these all set? These aren't even set to automate. Let's get all of those automated. There we go. Those are set up. That can be set up. That can be set up. Got a couple of logs there. It's all looking really good. We've got all of those. Did I have one left? Oh, I have two left. Nope, this one was for mangroves. I just didn't set it up. Let's do mangrove fruit. There we go. Counter mangroves. Oh, I had that one already. All right, and then the last one, we've got anything that we particularly need? No, so what we could do is just, we've got kohlrabi. Do we have kohlrabi? Nope. That will be our last one. We'll do a kohlrabi 90. There we go. We'll make sure that that one is set up correctly, and then we can come and automate these two down here. They do pick up a little bit of the cassava, but there should be enough down there to pick those up. So we'll do those whenever they're over 90%. We'll send them out to do something else. And what are these guys doing? Are they just waiting? Not sure why. You know what? We probably only need two of them here. So let's just take out one for now. And then we have a nothing to do in range. What does this guy do? Oh, he's got his stuff done. We can go ahead and make the rest of the path over here. Let's go here, and then here, and then here. We'll connect these in so they have a quicker trip through these mountains. This can go here. We'll put you here. There we go. That looks nice. Now, during the drought, they were able to come over here and complete a lot of this. So they were able to get our satellite dish here. And oh, there's the bad tide. So let's hit the bad tide button. We'll come back here real quick just to make sure that this is going to work. There goes all the bad tide off that way. This is still up and going. So we should be okay. And hopefully with this big reservoir here, that stays ready to go the whole time. In fact, can I plant some cassavas up here? I sure can. Let's turn this road back just a bit. Grab some of these. There we go. All done there. And that should take it. Oops, let's get some trees in here since we can. When they can. This is all looking great. We've got a pretty good start here. I think with this here, we'll be able to last quite a while. We should soon be able to up our production here, I guess you could say. In fact, let's do this. And do we want to try and find a place for some storage here? You know what? Maybe we'll toss some storage around here just while we're waiting. We'll do one for planks. And then, oops, this one can be for planks. And do we need anything else? We could do cassavas, but I'm not sure where I would want to put them. Because eventually I think we'll build out this way. Well, we might actually just do this and connect them in. Well, how would I go about connecting them in? I don't know. We'll figure that out eventually, but I think that's going to be for next time. So next time we'll take a look, expand out along here. Want to try to come down and around here and maybe get into this water seep. It should be easy to block off, just kind of tough to get to. Then we can go back to our project over here and maybe have a decent amount of good land everywhere. Then we can start figuring out where we want to actually lower our mountains so that we can get some more stuff built. But until then, just want to say thank you very much for stopping by and hope to see you next time. Bye!